take being human for granted. We don't remember what it's like to be anything else. And so, being human is not something that can be a prize. It's while you're human, what you do and what you get and what you realize and what you achieve. That's where the prize seems to be hidden. And humans faithfully devote themselves big chunks of time, energy. They put their body through all types of misery in order to achieve the prize, in order to gain whatever it is that they define as precious and valuable. The world has lost knowledge of the value of being human. There's been a deterioration in what it means to be us, how it feels to be us, what's expected of us. In the ancient world, there were big arguments about this. So at least while there are arguments, the human soul still has some value. There are still some who think it's precious. As the wars went on, as the exiles became darker, the argument was forgotten. And it just became accepted that a human being was born in order to work, in order to physically invest his energy for the majority of his time until he leaves the planet, until he's no longer capable of performing any other service. The wise who studied the nature of reality, who understood more of the purpose, more of the process of how the spirit evolves, they made it very clear that the prize that we receive as humans is not achieved externally. The prize that we have received as humans is the fact that we are human. The soul, the capacity to think, the capacity for intelligence, the capacity for emotion, for feeling as a response to stimuli, information, this is our biggest gift. There's nothing that we could possibly do that's going to change, that's going to compete with the magnitude of this gift. And yet, in this world, we might experience this greatest of gifts as something less than a gift. We might not realize what it is that we have while we have it. And so, throughout generations, the wise wanted to make sure that they are giving over to the future generations the real meaning, the real depth behind this experience, so that they know that what they have is precious, so that they know that receiving life is a greater gift than anything that can happen in life. And so now, even though we already had the greatest gift, while we were in this world, there was a way that we can make this gift better, and there was a way that we can make this gift worse. Making this gift better means knowing the value of the gift. Making the gift worse means being ignorant of the value of the gift, and therefore not being willing, not being ready, not being able even to respond correctly to the demands of reality. And so even though what we have, we already have, not knowing that we have it, not knowing the value of what we have, means that while we are here, it's like we don't have it. And if while we are here, it's like we don't have it, then we are not gaining access to it, we're not revealing it, we're not making it real, we're not celebrating it, we're not manifesting it. We're not allowing it to emerge the way that it was designed to emerge. And so in a way, we have less of it. And so even though the biggest gift we already have, how much access we're going to have to that gift is going to very much depend on how we're using the gift. What do we know about the gift? What do we believe is taking place? So now, the world is starting off. The families of the world are teaching their children their beliefs, are telling them about what they think life is about, what's precious about it, what they should stick to, what they should avoid. And those who are truly wise, those who really know more, those who have access to the truth in a way that others don't, now have a dilemma, they have a decision to make. How do they make sure that their knowledge, their wisdom, their understanding continues with their children and doesn't just get revealed to others and taken away from the rightful owners, used by those who are not worthy of knowing the value of life? We don't want to motivate them more. They're too motivated as is. So how are we going to give over a tradition for thousands of years, and it's going to remain a tradition of a specific family? How is that going to take place within the practical reality? The first solution was to create a lifestyle for this family that cannot be maintained by any other, where the attributes and the knowledge, the wisdom of this family would allow them to live in a way that no other family could live. And then no one can steal their wisdom, because no one can even live this way. No one can even copy this type of performance. This was the attempt at on the first luchos by Matan Torah. There was going to be a lifestyle that couldn't be lived by any other nation. A lifestyle that required attributes and intelligence that couldn't be copied by any other nation. But then, after that didn't work out, we needed a culture, a lifestyle that is suitable for the immature, and therefore it's suitable for everyone. So now, how are we going to make sure that the secrets remain within the family and don't just get taken by those who are power hungry? And this resulted in the Torah taking on a very different face than what it was really trying to say. And this way, the Torah itself would just be enough for survival. Living based on the Torah itself in the external form would just be enough so that the strongest can survive. And then there will be an oral tradition, a hidden tradition, that's given over generation to generation, and that will make the Torah livable. That will give the Torah the real power that was meant to be given over to these people. As long as this oral tradition was alive, Klal Yisrael had power. They had a lot of power in this world, and they had even more power in the other world. Power meaning they knew their power. Power they still have. But as long as the oral tradition was given over generation to generation, there were some people who knew the power of a human being. And because of that, all of humanity was different. Because of that, all of humanity saw the relationship that they had with the Creator a little bit differently. But then, as humanity was deteriorating, as humanity was going against itself, as more wars and violence were causing the souls to shrink, the spirits to become scared, and the will of the people fragmented, the secrets could no longer be given over. The power of a human being could no longer be believed. Humans could not believe that only a short while earlier, when humanity was in a different condition, the way that they were experiencing life, the soul that was with them, guiding them and giving them access to wisdom, was of a completely different level. And so there was a tremendous deterioration. The more humanity suffered, the less access they had to their own souls. The scars of suffering would separate them from the will of life, and therefore reduce their intelligence, give them less access to themselves. The revealed self became darker and darker and more distant from the authentic self. And yet, here and there were these tremendous souls who would be like rays of light coming from the hidden aspect and revealing the light to the revealed aspect. And the most famous for this work, the most famous of the people who revealed the hidden tradition while it was still alive, while it was still being given over generation to generation, is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. His soul was a direct revelation from the hidden to the revealed. In the revealed Torah, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is mentioned, but he is never celebrated to the extent that he is celebrated in the hidden Torah. In the hidden self, he's at the core of the light that reveals authentic truth, that gives the external world a glimpse of something so beautiful, something so powerful, something so mysterious, that when we consume wisdom, it's usually after a few different levels of interpretation coming from this great vast light. And so what people learned from the Zohar was then interpreted to so many different movements in Klal Yisrael. And the biggest light that revealed the power of the Zohar and brought it closer to the Geula was the Baal Shem Tov, who was again just translating the light of the Zohar translating the light of the Torah Shebichsav and the Torah Shebal Peh, the Torah that's known to us, that is filled with light, and yet the revealed aspect of it was purposely made so dark. It's to show the power of the wisdom that's going to transform everything that might seem as dark to extreme light. This was the power of Reb Shimon, like he said about himself, that he could himself release the entire world from judgment, which means that he could himself explain the source of all darkness, and by explaining, revealing the true reason of why they were necessary, and by revealing the true reason why they were necessary, remove all types of guilt or regret or separation that might have resulted from that darkness. As Reb Shimon's light, when we learn the Zohar, we see the power of Reb Shimon to see the light in everything, in every statement, in everything that is taught. And so even if we're learning something that seems to be harsh towards a human being, Reb Shimon would be able to see the reason of why that reality is so, and see the sweetness of why it was created to be that way. And then, of course, understand that the reason it was written in a harsh way is because this wisdom needed to be protected. And so, for example, if I want to tell my son that he needs to drink a certain amount of water every day in order to remain healthy, say that's my secret and I want only him to know, I say that I decree that he must drink a certain amount of cups a day, otherwise he will get punished. And then nobody's going to want to follow my advice. And so just because something seems dark doesn't mean that the message is dark. That's the light of Reb Shimon pointing it out. We can all say the statement. Reb Shimon could actually explain to us on every pasuk, on every statement, on every punishment, what's the light? Why is this beautiful? Why is this love? And this is because he always remembered who is talking to us. The one who is talking, the one who is expressing himself, the one who is teaching us, is the one that loves us more than we love ourselves. It's the depth of the hidden self that's talking to the revealed self. It's the depth of the collective that's expressing itself to its own individuals. It's dependent on its individuals. And so there can be no distance, there can be no separation. It's just language. It's just the way that it's being said. And the way that it's being said relates very much to the situation that we're in, to the fact that we can no longer feel who we are, that we can no longer remember who we are. And therefore, we need to be protected even from ourselves, and even more so from others who have ill intentions. The wisdom reveals also the limitations of human knowledge. The wisdom reveals that those who knew, they were okay with what they didn't know. They knew what's knowable, and they never bothered about what's not knowable. The wisdom reveals that a human being, as he grows, as he gets to know more, is constantly revealing more of a truth that he's already facing. And therefore, there's no absolutes in knowledge. Even Reb Shimon, he didn't know beyond what he knew. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't know beyond what he knew. And so wisdom was not about knowing everything. Wisdom was about knowing how to interact with what's right in front of us and right behind us. Wisdom is about knowing how to be us, especially while we're in the body. So they knew themselves. They knew themselves deeply. They knew themselves so deeply that nothing else mattered. And yet, even to them, life was constantly emerging. The truth was constantly being revealed. Deeper layers of the authentic self were constantly coming forth. So these two sides of the Torah, the revealed part of the Torah and the hidden part of the Torah, are copying the nature of reality the way that it was created by the Creator. The physical and the spiritual, the world of matter and the world of thought. The body and the soul. Everything is with the revealed part and the hidden part. And the revealed part represents the hidden part. The hidden part is the only real part. The revealed part is a face of the hidden part. And so therefore the wise, they would use creation as a demonstration of how to interact with the ultimate. Whatever they saw in reality, they knew that this was coming from the source. This was the source speaking, and therefore this is how they're supposed to interact with reality. And so just like there's a body and a soul, so too there is a revealed Torah and there's a hidden Torah. There's a revealed self and there's a hidden self. There's a revealed meaning and there's a hidden meaning. The revealed is a protective mechanism. The hidden is the real thing. Just like in the personality, the revealed Torah is the personality of the Torah. It has a confrontational personality because it's in a confrontational environment. The hidden is the vulnerable part, is the real part, is the soft part, is the part that we're trying to protect. The hidden can't be revealed, because if the hidden is revealed, then we give power to those who don't yet know how to use it. The revealed was meant to remove their power. And so, not only are we going to hide the secret so that those who don't deserve the power shouldn't have it, we're going to hide the secrets in such a way that those who don't deserve the power, this cover is going to take their power away. It's going to scare them. It's going to intimidate them. It's going to tell them about a truth that they don't know that might hurt them. And this is the nature of reality. Such is reality. All this is still emulating the nature of reality and how we came to be, the predicament that we find ourselves in. The end game, the result of this process, is that the revealed gets revealed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is motzi chama min artika, the sun comes out from its holder, which means the light gets revealed for what it really is. And then, suddenly, the revealed is no longer. And now, the relationship we had with the authentic is the only thing that matters. The revealed is no longer a place where we can hide. The authentic is the only thing that is available. We're all going to have to deal with that. And so if someone is taking advantage of someone else because of their personality, someone has a weak personality and then they're taking advantage of. This only works because the revealed is not accurate to the authentic. The personality is not really the person. And so therefore, there are different advantages that we can take. But when the authentic becomes revealed, then there's no longer anywhere to hide. Then the real is real, and everything else falls away. And so, as long as the Torah has a personality, then the evil, the wicked, can get away with their behaviors. They're hiding within the weaknesses of the personality. The world has changed a lot since the Torah set up its face. And so when people look at the Torah, it says, oh, Torah is concerned about some very evil people, talking about killing and talking about, but I'm a pretty good guy. I don't really care about people. I'm in it for myself. Someone gets hurt here and there. It's not the end of the world, but I'm nothing like those people. Or people see the Torah, they see the personality, they see the external face, and they say, well, it doesn't seem to be too accurate. It doesn't seem to be what I would describe as a perfect person, and therefore, I no longer have to even try to be the perfect person that I would describe. My ideals no longer matter, because if these are not the ideals I see here, then why would I follow my own ideals? And this might be very misguided. It might be very wrong, because our natural ideals are aligned with the hidden aspect of the authentic truth. And so we should always follow our ideals. We should align our ideals with the Torah. We should see, how does the Torah see our ideals? We should try to see what is the ultimate perfection. But always should we strive for perfection. Always should we reveal more of the authentic self, which is a lot more perfect than the revealed self. Wherever we are in our evolution, there is a self inside of us that is a lot more perfect, a lot more refined. And so, because the Torah has this personality, a personality it took on when the neighborhood was very, very violent, so now, when things got a little bit easier, people misunderstand this personality. They no longer understand, why would the secrets hide in such a face? Why is it taking on such a tense role when no one here is even talking those languages? It's coming with a cannon, and we didn't even bring a knife. And that's because this is a personality, this is a defense mechanism. This is trying to guide people from the grave, people who, even while the leader was alive, he couldn't guide them properly. And he needs to guide them and protect them. And so the personality is not the message. The one who reveals that the most is Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says, the Torah has a body, and that's the stories and the statements and the commandments and everything that we can see, everything that's revealed, everything that someone who is not us can also understand. Everything that someone who is not us can also understand is not the message. That should be clear. Then, those whose parents stood on Har Sinai, they look to the neshama of the Torah. What is the spirit behind his body? Why is he saying what he is saying? What would a loving father try to teach his son when he knows his son is in mortal danger and has enemies everywhere, including inside of his own mind and his own heart? What would a father, a loving father, tell his son in those circumstances? So he looks for the neshama. Then we know that his father stood on Har Sinai. Why? If he's looking at the body, if he's not looking at the neshama, that's exactly why it was written this way, so that the other nations see that. So, unless we're looking for the neshama, it means we're looking at it just like the other nations would look at it. Anyone who looks at it like the other nations are looking at it will get punished. That was the design. That's why it was written this way. But then he says, when Klal Yisrael is going to leave the Galus, when Klal Yisrael is going to gain redemption, they're going to look at the soul within the soul. Even the soul they will no longer look at. They will look at the soul within the soul. Meaning, humanity is going to be so distant already from the original personality of how the Torah was meant to dress up, that after we understand the soul, we still have to understand, okay, then what happened now in the next 3,500 years since then, and how does that affect the message? How does that affect how we're supposed to communicate these realities? And so it's to realize the essence of what's being given over. There's something of essence. And then that essence needs to dress up in external phraseology in order for it to be able to be transmitted. In order for us to communicate between generations, we need to put it into content. But in order for us to truly understand, we need to realize the context. We need to realize who is saying and why is it being said and what's the purpose. Every mitzvah is filled with secrets of how the spiritual world works. And so it's not about him saying do this, it's about why is he telling me to do this and how is doing this affecting me? How is doing this affecting the world? How is doing this real? And the way that doing this is real, so many other things are real. If we learn the principles of what makes these things real, then we know the principles of how we operate. So learning secrets, discovering the secrets, revealing the secrets, this is what makes us human. As long as we don't know the secrets, all we have is the animal, all we have is the body, all we have is the external, the revealed. What's going to live inside the revealed is the human being. The human being lives on secrets. The revealed Torah is no Torah for the human being. The revealed Torah is a Torah for the animal. The hidden Torah is the Torah for the human being. The more hidden Torah we have, the more the human being is coming to life. Every secret of each mitzvah is giving life to the intelligent human within the body, to the intelligent human within the information, that's alive with the information, that knows the information, that appreciates, that is connected through the information. And then that becomes a mitzvah. Mitzvah is a lashon of, is an expression of connection. So every mitzvah means connecting. What are we connecting? We're connecting the revealed to the hidden. L'shem yichid kitchabrichi is shchintei. Kitchabrichu is the hidden aspect, the potential. Shchintei is the revealed aspect. We're uniting the hidden with the revealed. That's why we have a mitzvah. And so mitzvah is only uniting when we have the intention of uniting. We have the intention of uniting when we understand the principle that mitzvah is trying to reinforce within our awareness. The principle that mitzvah is trying to reveal from the hidden to the revealed. These lights that are shining through the messages that survived, they allow us to know the lights that are shining unconsciously, things that have long been forgotten and yet they are there. The souls, like Rabbi Shimon, that realized truth throughout the generations, but they didn't have anything written, or their writings didn't survive, and yet their light survived. Their light is alive in the collective soul. Their light makes our journey a little bit more sufferable, because their existence changed the collective. And so Rabbi Shimon is showing us the human potential. Rabbi Shimon is a glimpse of that power of realizing the depth, the value, the preciousness of life, realizing the value of existence, realizing the power of the neshama. And through that, through him, we realize the power of our own neshamas. We realize the power of the neshamas of our ancestors, of each soul. Each soul is a ray of light coming from the hidden and into the revealed, and revealing the emerging soul, the collective spirit that's revealing itself from the beginning of creation, from before there was man. V'ruach Elohim merachefes al pnei hamoim. The divine spirit is hovering above the water, and now this divine spirit has taken on so many forms, has changed into so many beings, has had so many ideals, and been through so many conflicts. And here this same spirit is being revealed as it emerges through the individual souls, soul after soul, each one a revelation of that collective spirit that's going to reveal its unity. May it happen soon, while we're still in our physical form.